everyone, it's Kerry back with you today. It is the 1st of February, so it is time for another freebie for our collaboration with the Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. There will be a link in the description box below to the group, so you're welcome to come and join us over there if you would like. If you don't do Facebook, don't worry, this freebie will be available in our shop on the 1st of March. So for today's freebie, we have these two pages. There are so many projects that you could do with these pages. You could cut these into individual tags. There's washi strips, extra tags, some panels here, and of course some elements. But for today's project, I have made this cute little, sort of like a pocket wallet journal thingy. I don't really know what to call it. So it just opens up. I've just tied it closed with some string. And then once you've opened it up, you can open this way to see two pockets, open again to see two more pockets, and then you can turn it over and you've got a journaling spot and a second journaling spot here, but I've embellished this one. Or you can just open it out completely and have all four pockets on that side, and then a couple of different journaling spots on the other side. So I'm going to show you how I've put this together. Now I did make a couple of little mistakes with this one, which I will address and show you what not to do when I make this. So I've gone ahead and cut out my bits and pieces from the two pages, and I'm going to work on this piece first. So I'll just quickly show you what I have done. I have taken this page, I have cut all the way around the edge, and then this second washi strip here, I have cut that off, and that's left me with this piece like this. I have creased along this line and folded it up because that will give me my pocket. So the next thing I want to do is fold over, match up my two edges here and crease that down. So then I'm going to bring in this edge and I'm going to fold it right up to this crease. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just going to bring it into the crease. Okay, so now I want to fold my pocket up and then refold my creases, just pressing that down because the pocket will have been folded back on itself. Okay, so everything there looks alright, and then I'm going to bring this flap over the whole lot and crease that down as well. Okay, so now I've got all my creases in place. Now I want to pop a little bit of decoration on the inside of my little folio thing because it's a little bit white. So you can do that by just adding some ink. I don't recommend lining it with another piece of paper because it already gets kind of chunky. And if you want to pop it in a pocket, it would get very thick if you tried to add another piece of paper. So I'm just going to add some inking on the inside there, and I've picked some inks that I think match the colours of my printable. I'm just going to use a piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to start with bundled sage. So I'm just popping some ink onto my brush, and then I'm going to brush a bit off first so I don't get a big blob, and then I'm just going to add a little bit to each panel. Now you don't need to go right down to the bottom because this pocket will cover the bottom third of the page. And I'm also going to do this little flap. So to add a little bit more interest, I'm going to come in with some stamping, but I want to do some free sort of free-form stamping, I don't want to use a block. And because this is quite narrow, I don't want to hold it with my fingers because when I go to dip it in the ink, I'll probably get ink on my fingers. So I'm going to take a small piece of double-sided tape and I'm going to apply it onto my fingers like this. I'm going to expose the other side of the double-sided tape. So now I've just got that on my fingers and I'm going to use that to pick up my stamp like this. So that means I can now stamp in my ink and then onto my page and my fingers aren't going to get in the way, but it's not going to be so rigid as it would be with a block. So I think I'll use weathered wood for this one. I'm just going to add a little bit of ink and I'm going to stamp off first so it's not too dark. It's still quite dark. Actually, I think I'll use the speckled egg. Yep, that's better. And I'm just going to randomly stamp that on the inside of my cover or my folio. I think that'll do. Then I can just take my stamp off. I was just using a small text stamp from the Miller and French stamp set. And then I'm going to come in with this little floral diamond stencil. And again, I think I'll use the weathered wood. Actually, no, sorry, the speckled egg. And I'm just randomly going to add a little bit of stenciling through my stencil. And I don't want it to be perfect, so I'm just brushing over it in a few different places. So I get that sort of look. So the next thing I want to do is pop some glue down to secure this little pocket. I'm not going to glue all the way along. I'm just going to glue in a couple of little places. And I just want a really fine bead of glue because I don't want to use up any more room in this tiny pocket than I have to. So a little bit on the middle and then on each edge. Then I'll just fold that up. Now I probably should have inked along that edge before I glued it down. So I might just bring in this bit of paper and see if I can do that quickly before it grabs. Okay, and then I'm just going to go around the edges with my ink. Okay, so I've inked around my card on both sides and I'm ready to fill up my little pockets and add some decoration to the front here. Now, when I did my first one, I stuck my butterfly here and then I also stuck my butterfly here, which meant when I closed my little folio and I put the flap down, you could only see the bottom half of the butterfly and it looked a bit weird, so I covered the bottom half of the butterfly up with this little sticker, or this little number, and I think it still looks alright, and I wished I had put the butterfly on the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and sort that out first. Okay, so now I've got this butterfly on the opposite side and he is low enough so that the flap doesn't cover him up when I pull that down. So now I'm going to start decorating the front of my folio. Okay, so I've got my little front piece decorated and I'm happy with that. So now I want to look at filling up my pockets here, and with these ones I have done a mixture of loose pieces, a couple of pieces that I have actually glued down, and then a little bit of decorating in the background as well. So like these ones are glued down, this one's loose, these ones are loose, and this one's glued down. So you can pretty much decorate it however you like. So I'm going to take this tag. Now you could cut it out and have two separate tags, but I'm just going to glue it back to back. So I've got a double-sided tag, and I'm going to embellish the front here a little bit. I am just going to glue this one down, but if you prefer to stitch like I have on this one, you can of course go ahead and do that. So there we go. I've used all the little bits and pieces to fill up my pockets and embellish my folio. And now all that is left is for the closure. So I'm going to punch a hole here. I'm just going to eyeball it. About there-ish. And I'm just going to pop a little eyelet in there. There we go. And lastly, I just need some string. So I've got this thin twine here. So there we go. That's just one little idea with this kit. I'm sure you guys will come up with heaps more. I will leave links in the description box below to the group and also to the shop in case you don't do Facebook. You'll be able to find this in our shop next month. Renee will be along shortly to show you what she made with last month's freebie, and that is also now available in the shop. So I'll pop a link to that below as well. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you again next time. Bye!